I got a puzzle, and the puzzle is my compass is not working. What does that mean it's not working? Well, the weird thing about it is north should be directly that way. And my compass keeps switching locations. Doesn't make any sense. You know, when I was traveling last year, I'll chat for you a little bit here. I just want to take a peek over here. When I was traveling last year to look at different locations as far as regions and how the foliages, the mountain ranges are, sometimes I was envious. I was envious of people because, you know, if you're looking for Sasquatches, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack, at least in the forests in Canada, because the forests are just so enormous here and thick. And when I'm out here, of course, I'm not just looking for squatches. I'm trying to educate myself with other things, like you know, people are saying, well, how come they're not on camera and stuff like that. This week, go out and film a bear. Just try to go do that. The idea that filming things are just like that, it's never like that. It's a lot tougher to discipline yourself to get the shot. Some bear sign back there. And I think the idea of, you know, like if there's a deer in the forest right over here, right behind me here, or even over on this side, they just have to stand there. And as long as they're not moving, I'm going to walk right by. I mean, it's pretty thick stuff. So coming up here, I'm going to show you a little video of that corridor. Again, I talked to you about that corridor where there's been about 11 sightings and stuff. So when I mentioned in my last video about this corridor, so that way is east and that way's west. And they seem to be coming see if I can zoom in there. From that mountain range over there. Sorry about that. See that mountain range right there? Let that focus in a bit more, I think. There we go. So they come through the valley here. And that seems to be in the springtime, because that's the only information I don't have. So once it's in this area here, this is during August, through this section right here. This is where those calls came in. There's about 11 different styles of reports. And then down the valley, that way, in the wintertime, they seem to be way down the valley that way. Pull on a little bit. So that knoll you're seeing right there, and get this one right here. On the other side of that is Echo Lake. And I hope to get over here so we can look down on it. There's a couple more lakes that are just over this valley, which is, I think it's Mabel Lake. And there's another one, there's been 2 reports, another sighting over here. But you can see the vast area They could be hiding anywhere here. But again, I got to find the tracks and just keep collecting the data. So I definitely know they're coming in from there, through this valley here, all the way through this valley here, and they're heading all the way down west to where Kalamaka Lake is. That's a long range. Now I don't even know if they're in the area or if they're actually transient through the area. So that's a suspicion of what's going on. So just out of curiosity, let's just check my compass again. Yeah, that's weird. Compass is saying north is this way, which it should be pointing that way. Unless I'm turned around or something. This is what I'm walking into now. That's the mountain range on the east side. I mean, look how vast this area is. You guys just look for a second. And of course I can't really transpose it on here, but it's so hard to vet and verify an area. And I think that's why doing a lot of reports advertising in the areas you do with posters, just saying like Bigfoot Okanagan is doing follow-up research regarding reports in the area. If you want to you've had something interesting happen to you and you're trying to get in contact with us, and then I just put our email address below that, or our Facebook page. So unless, again, the odds are to bump into one, it'll just be fortunate. In other words, you're there at the right time. And I think that's one of the things that I've been missing in the community, has been the capacity for us, first of all, to dialogue and to have the ability of some central location and where we can actually deposit data that seems to be consistent, but also, you know, like, go around, if you guys are out there and you got your own channels and stuff like that, ask people, how do you find them? And I think that's the question that needs to be answered, because that's the question that no one has the answer to. There's been a couple of people who have been close in regards to their, at least they said they've been close online, of how to track them down. But, you know, I'm from British Columbia, Canada, and we have forests here that are monstrous and thick. And sure, I could walk in a forest and hoot and holler and whoop, but there's got to be another way. And to me, it's about data collecting. I was talking to Daniela from Bigfoot Odyssey the other day, and she'd asked me if I'd be interested in coming on the show and the live chat. And I haven't done that before because, like I said, I like to stay below the radar. And I've had other stations ask me to come on too, but again, I've refused. Coyote poop. I've refused because I don't want a lot of people following my channel. I'm looking for researchers to follow my channel. And people who have spent a lot of time in the bush. Because those are the people I think that are skilled enough to maybe track down how do you find these guys. Now, I have yet to bump into a bear this year, which is kind of nice. I'm not too worried about bears, but cougars. Something about cougars that bother me a bit more than bears do. And so I just want to take another bearing here. I think if I go over this ridge behind me, this one here, head back into there, that should take me to the crest I'm looking to get to. So that's what I'm gonna go do. So I'm on a game trail now. Let me show you something. See, my compass is pointing that way, regarding north. Just down there, last time we were here, the compasses were pointing north that way. Like, I don't know, maybe 100 yards up from where we were before. And that's where it should be, folks. It should be aiming at this direction because Echo Lake Crest should be right over top here. And I definitely am on a block. You know, the other thing about Google Maps, just get in the shade here a bit. The problem with Google Maps is they're not updated. See these trees, these pine behind me? So on Google Maps, it shows nothing here. It's like perfect bench. But this has been planted out about 15 years ago. You can tell from the lodgepole pine. And roughly about 15 years ago. Which kind of is, you know, upsetting when you get out to where you're going. And you're going to find that quite readily. All these times of coming out to places. And find out that you're not quite hoping to find on Google Maps what you're seeing, because it makes a whole different strategy plan for you. Yeah, so my compass bearing's still going that direction. There's definitely a trail here. And just give me a second because I'm in deep forest here a bit. Just want to mark my trail. If you put ribbon out, take it out when you leave. Oh, come on, if you can tie it up. Oh. So, I got a puzzle, and the puzzle is my compass is not working. What does that mean it's not working? Well, the weird thing about it is north should be directly that way. And my compass keeps switching locations. Doesn't make any sense. Now, I'm not a, superstitious kind of guy or anything like that, but the other weird thing is when Nick and I were up here, we were kind of having the same thing with a GPS unit that he has on his phone and a compass thing he's got on his phone. And the same thing's happening today with me. So I'm not sure what's going on there. So I'm going to head up over here where I think I'm supposed to be heading and see if something else is going on. So I do know that there's old volcanic vents that are here. So the ground might be magnetic or magnetized, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But I don't know if that's what's going on. I just know that there is volcanic vents. There's one that's bottomless on the other side of the valley. I think they graded or put a grid over, or they put a grate over top of it to stop people from trying to throw things down it and stuff like that. So anyways, hopefully I'm not going to get lost. I do have a radio on that I think I can pick out help if I need it, because my cell phone's not going to work up here. So anyways, I'll get back to you guys in a minute. Hey everybody. So anyways, I just want to do a bit of a assessment on this whole compass thing that's going on here. So I had to come out of the forest, even though I used ribbons, because I don't want to get lost if my compass is going as crazy as it is. Now, the reason why I wanted to post this particular video is, like I mentioned, I'm aware of the geological way of the region is, and because there are a lot of volcanic vents in the area, it's more than likely what's going on is that the ground's magnetized, or at least certain sections. The closer I get to the ridge, that's where most of the rock's exposed as well. I suspect that's what's bothering my compass, and also affected Nick's compass and GPS. So now the reason why I wanted to point this out is if you don't do pretty in-depth research regards to the area, imagine if you walked in there and you didn't know that piece of information, and all of a sudden that started to happen to your gear. Then where your brain's going to go to is something supernatural is happening. So the question is, well, Leon, how do you know something supernatural is not happening there? Well, because I check out the area. So anyways, what did I end up doing? Okay, so what I ended up doing was I went all the way down the valley, checked my compass out, and then went all the way up the other side on my way out and checked my compass, and yeah, my compass was affected again. So either there's hundreds of Sasquatches in the area, and every area I'm in, they just happen to be there, which I find very hard to believe, or there's something else that's going on. And so, I stick with the facts, and the facts with the history, knowing the geological history of the area, it's more than likely what's going on there is magnetism from the ground or from the rock formations under the ground are affecting my compass. And it wasn't my wristband for my GoPro. And when Nick's went up, we made sure there was nothing metal around it. We kept both of those devices separate from each other. So it's just something to keep in mind. So when you're in areas, just by watching this video, you'll remember, oh, Leon talked about something like this in one of the areas he's in. So you don't just jump to supernatural kind of stuff, because it's more than likely it's not supernatural. As I mentioned in one of my earlier videos or past videos, is we as human beings have a tendency to spiritualize things that we don't understand. Old sailors used to think that there was spirits that were swimming underneath their ships and stuff like that. And what we know that today to be is a form of bacteria. It has a bioluminescence to it. And if any of you guys are on the coast, you've probably seen that when you're kayaking and you've seen seals go underneath your canoes or kayaks, and it just lights up, and those are like 7-10 feet long. You don't have a context for that, you're going to spiritualize it 200 years ago and think, what is that? It must be from Davy's locker. Must be the spirits from Davy's locker. So just a piece of information to help you realize that sometimes things that don't make sense usually have a contextual sense, but you have to do the research. You have to do more than just Sasquatch stuff. You have to really educate yourself about a variety of different fields. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a most fabulous week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.